everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel, #MovieBay. I am MovieBay, and in this video I'm going to be doing a throwback review of the VH1 classic Flavor of Love. But before we get too into it though, I would like for y'all to drop down and hit the subscribe button. Thank you. Because here on MovieBay, I do reviews, reactions, and commentary to movies and television. And if that is the type of content that you like, you might as well stick around and hit the subscribe button. And if you find yourself enjoying my commentary along the way, don't be afraid to give me a thumbs up and or drop a comment down below. Now, I know y'all have heard of The Bachelor, but Flavor Flav is the Blackchiller. Literally, that's how the show starts. So the premise of this show is basically it is The Bachelor with Flavor Flav. Now, 20 single women move into a mansion in Los Angeles and compete for the affection of who? Flavor Flav, who decides who is his one true love. And of course, they have to do many competitions so he can decide, narrow down the process of who is the right one for him. Now, y'all, this said that the episodes season 1 aired January 1 in 2006. You know what? That's right. That's right. Because I was in the 6th grade. I do remember being in middle school. I was like, the fashions was definitely, I don't know why, but 2008 was just throbbing in my brain when I saw all the gauchos, all the ponchos, and all the like salsa dresses and stuff. The fashion. Oh my God, the fashion. Now, if you are tuning into this video because you are a fan of love shows, competition shows, and classic reality TV, hi, welcome. But for some reason, if you're like a Gen Zer and you just stumbled upon this video and you don't really know who Flavor Flav is, I got you. So Flavor Flav is literally the hype man. He's a hype man and rapper of a former rap group entitled Public Enemy. Now, Flavor Flav appeared on this reality show entitled The Surreal Life, where they took a whole bunch of quote-unquote washed up celebrities and put them all in a house. Now, there on that show, The Surreal Life, he met an ex-model, or she was probably still modeling, but like I said, washed up quote-unquote Norwegian model entitled Bridget. Now, him and Bridget fell in love, and it was strange. Hence their spinoff, Strange Love. And at the end of Strange Love, Bridget left Flavor Flav all alone on his lonesome. So VH1, of course, offered Flavor Flav his own competition reality show in hopes of finding love. And here we are, season 1 of Flavor of Love. Now, like I stated before, the show starts off with 20 women, okay? And all the women, of course, they are standing, waiting to see who love they're going to be competing for, because I watched a lot of behind the scenes interviews with old cast members, like during COVID. If y'all remember Lacey from Rock of Love, she had like a podcast where she was interviewing, like I stated, old castmates of Flavor Love, Rock of Love, I Love Money, all the VH1 shows. She was interviewing them. And a couple of people, like all the people she interviewed from season 1, stated that they did not know whose love they were going to be competing for. They did not know that Flavor Flav was going to pop up around that corner. So those reactions are genuine, okay? Now, in the interview process, they did state, like, they threw out a couple of celebrity names. Like, would you be interested in dating this person? And Flavor Flav's name was mentioned amongst that group of people, but they never stated verbatim that you will be competing for Flavor Flav's love. So just like most of people who try out for reality shows, they're women who just wanted to be on TV. Period. So when Flavor Flav came out and made the appearance, of course, those reactions were genuine. All right. Now, in true reality TV format, the girls run off to go find their rooms, and they find out that there are only 15 beds, meaning 5 of them will be going home tonight. Now, after the girls get settled in, it is time for the most famous part of these shows. Literally every Of Love show jocked off of this format, giving the girls nicknames, okay? And we all know that Flavor Flav has no sense at all in his mind. He has no sense at all. He giving these girls all different types of names, most of which these nicknames came from what they were wearing or particular body parts. So we have Miss Latin, Sweetie, Serious, Hoops, New York, Smokey, Picasso, Goldie, Smiley, Pumpkin, Peaches, Dimples, Cherries, Bubbles, Apples, and Hottie. Did I say Smiley and Goldie? I feel like I left some people out, but that's everybody on the screen. Actually, there are about 4 people that's just not in this frame, but y'all get the idea, okay? These nicknames are cuckoo, and as the seasons go on, spoiler alert, they're just gonna get even crazier. So all the girls come in the kitchen, they toast to finding love with Flavor Flav, and I just wanted to mention this one part. This lady right here, I think her name was Apples, she talking about, I don't think I'm gonna fit in with these type of women because they might be a little bit, long pause, ghetto in quotation marks for me. I was like, bitch, get the fuck out of here. If cancel culture was prominent in the early 2000s, sis would be what? Canceled. So now it's time for Flav to mingle, and he's having like mini dates with each of the women just to get a feel to see, who he wants to keep, because 5 people need to go home tonight. And the first mini date is with New York and Pumpkin first. And y'all, when I tell y'all Pumpkin's been hating. Pumpkin's been a hater. They did like not on spot, but like same day confessional interviews with each girl. And Pumpkin been hating on New York, talking about how she thinks she's fake and just hating like from Jump Street. Just to let you know, this podcast, this review will be a little biased because I'm a huge Tiffany New York Pollard fan. She is the queen of reality TV, and I don't care what y'all gotta say about it. Don't care what y'all gotta say about it. Like, Tiffany New York Pollard is that girl. But like, no tea, no shade. I always gravitate to the people who are like the underdog or the people who are ostracized, because I don't know, maybe that says something about my personal life. Who knows? Anyways, so then we have Hottie, another standout from this season, who claims she has 34 double Ds. And I'm like, sis, I have 34 double Ds. I have 34 double Ds and I'm a size 3. So she got some G's and F's and she just capping, okay? Hottie is, for lack of a better term, delusional. But Hottie is hogging Flavor Flav. Like, she is not letting any other girls get his time. She keeps him for a good moment to herself. And then we also have this sit down between Picasso, Sweetie, and I can't remember who else is there. And Sweetie kind of asks if Flavor Flav can still get it up, if he can still get it on. And he looking like, who can't? She was like, well, you're just getting a little older and I didn't know if you needed help. And in my head, I'm like, yes, you are getting older, sir. But he said, baby, this cock is huge. And then they cut to the picture. Oh my God, y'all, they don't make TV like they used to. Like, just the editing alone will make you laugh on these shows. Now, the last mini date that I wanted to point out was with this girl named Cherries. Now, Cherries is a very sexual being, and she said that herself, and she's all up on Flav. She's letting him grope her bum, and she's kissing on the side of his face, not really on his lips, but she's just kissing on him, showering him with love, and everybody's running out to the living room like, oh my God, they're making out, you guys. And you just like look at them and like, okay, chemistry. Well, unfortunately, Big Rick comes out and tells Flav, hey, it's time to go. You need to make a decision on who you want to send home. So Flav goes up to his room and tries to narrow down the girls he's going to keep and the girls he's going to leave. What? I messed up. I'm not editing that shit out. I don't feel like it. So while Flav is making his decision in his room, we have another girl that's going to stand out. She's like the narrator of the season, the comedian of the house, Goldie, okay? Country bumpkin Goldie, okay? And I can say that because I'm from Texas, all right? Now, Goldie has been drinking strawberries and champagne, so she a little bit lit, okay? So lit to where she literally hurls chunks in the living room right before elimination. Now, while all the girls are getting ready and Goldie sobering up, we have Red Oyster, and she comes to New York, who has done an outfit change, period. That's what I'm talking about. And she asked New York, who do you think should go home tonight? And of course, New York says, well, I think everybody should go home because I'm gonna win. So eventually y'all all are gonna be eliminated anyways. And Red Oyster turned around and she was like, for once, I'm glad I'm not the biggest bitch in the room. Nope, that spot is reserved for New York. It's now time for eliminations, and what Flav is going to do is hand out clocks, big ass clocks, like the clocks he wears, because that's his signature. And if you get a clock, you get to stay. You know what time it is. And if you don't, your time is up. You have to go home. So Hottie actually gets the first clock, and I feel like, Hog and Flav really paid off in her favor. Now, something also notable at eliminations when Flav says this person is a work of art. So Picasso starts smiling, and then he calls someone else's name. I was like, oh. Oh, Flav, that was messed up. Got that girl hopes up. And then finally, the last clock goes to Goldie. Yes, the girl who was hurling chunks in the living room. So now it's time to say goodbye. And I honestly thought that Picasso would stay because in her confessionals, don't know if she was acting or not, but she really sold it to me that she would be interested in getting to know Flav. Now there is this one girl who I don't even know her name, y'all, but she stated that New York and Sirius are not really here for Flav. And then we have Cherries, y'all. Cherries, yes, whose nickname is based off of her boobs, her nipples in particular, is going home. I thought that they had great chemistry, and she's salty about it, y'all. She walked right past Flav, didn't even give him a hug. She's so upset that she started talking about Goldie, how she was throwing up and drunk and tipsy all on the first night. Now, I'm saying I didn't think she was gonna go home as if I haven't seen this show before. Of course I have, especially during COVID. That's when I rewatched it. But just based off their chemistry and the editing, you really thought that Cherries was a high contender. I'm thinking like first, second clock type thing. But no, you can never tell with Flav. That is the end of episode 1. If you're enjoying my commentary thus far, give me a thumbs up and or drop a comment down below to share your thoughts and opinions on episode 1 or classic reality TV all together. Now let's go ahead and get into episode 2. Episode 2 starts off with just viewing some of the girls, how they are around the house. Some people are doing yoga or praying. But then we also have some girls that are gossiping. We have Georgia and Rain. They're in a room and they're gossiping about New York. And Georgia basically tells Rain how she got into it with New York last night over an outfit change. She basically told New York that you weren't supposed to put that dress on. And New York is like, mind your damn business, bitch. Basically, because like, mind your business. If I put on a different dress because I want to put on a different dress, then I'm going to do that. It's a competition, sis. Step your pussy up. And don't be hating, just step it up. New York hears them talking about her, of course. And she says that she's going to address that issue because she is. Then we also have Miss Latin. Now, Miss Latin is cool with New York. She says you either love her or you hate her. And that's literally what it is. You either love her or you can't stand her. Now, meanwhile, the same Miss Latin is trying to contact or get in contact with her ex-boyfriend who is not answering her phone calls. Now it is time for the flavogram of the episode. Flavorgrams basically tells the girls what they're about to do for that day. Now all the girls are waiting for the last 2 people to come downstairs, New York and Miss Latin, in order to read the flavogram. They go ahead and do so anyways. But when New York comes down, we get that infamous scene where she's walking through saying, good morning, good morning, good morning to you. Yes, good morning. But not you. You can choke. When I'm about to be quoting all the memes, all the gifs y'all see, I'm about to be reiterating them because New York is just that girl, y'all. She really is. She told that girl, you can choke. And the bitch did. Bitch choked, choked, clutched the pearls and everything. Like, period. New York said, I am going to play a mind game on Rain. And that indeed she did. Now, the flavogram for that episode tells the girls that they're going to have mini dates with Flav. And they have to customize a hot tub that basically to impress him and tells him about them because these dates are only going to be 10 minutes. Now in van 1, we have all the girls saying how they are enjoying this experience and meeting all the different type of women. And then in van 2, we have Goldie, who asked New York, what would you do if you walked in and Flav has nothing on? And New York says, I have a lot on my mind right now, so I don't really feel like talking. Thank you. This pisses Rain off for whatever reason. She really, really, really wants New York to be a part of this friend sorority clique group they've started, and New York just doesn't have the time for it. Pumpkin gets bothered, Rain gets bothered, Georgia gets bothered, and Goldie just sitting there laughing at everybody. Rain is screaming to the top of her lungs, talking about, I'm gonna put my finger in your face, I'ma throw this drink on you, I'ma do that, turn around, I'm done talking to you. I was like, this girl is pressed, panini pressed, starched pressed, press-ons. What's another thing for press? Like, press the down button on the elevator, bitches, press. I just don't get it. If somebody doesn't want to be my friend, I'm not gonna be upset because they don't want to be my friend. Let it alone. Get the veins in this girl's neck, y'all. I could never be this upset. I could never be this upset. So it is time for the challenge. And then you have a couple of people who put a lot of effort into their jacuzzis. I honestly like Pumpkin. She had like some truth or dare type things going on. I really enjoyed hers. I thought she did a good job. There's this other girl, Peaches. She did a good job. She's singing her song. And then you have people who didn't really try, like Hottie. She's just trying to hypnotize Flav with this $5 little light that she got from Disney on Ice or some shit. But the standouts from this challenge was New York, because Flav just enjoys New York's company, Smiley because she removed her makeup off to show the real her, and then Miss Latin because he just likes her. Let's be honest, she didn't do anything special. Her hot tub wasn't decorated. She was just her, and Flav was rocking with it. So those are the three winners: New York, Miss Latin, and Smiley. Now, after the hot tub challenge, we have all the girls in the kitchen, and we have New York versus Pumpkin. And Pumpkin calls New York out because instead of embracing this experience and getting to know all these wonderful different type of women, she'd rather sit and sulk and be all by herself. And New York says, I'm not here to make friends. And this leads to them getting into a verbal altercation. And of course, Pumpkin says, I'll give you $1 million if you do something. I can't even remember what she said because it really didn't matter, because New York hit her with that. But you don't have it. You don't have it, because if you did, you would get a facelift. I'm not the one to talk down on women. But on this show, y'all, on this show, Pumpkin was 21, 22 when they were recording. That woman does not look 21, 22. And we know white people, no tea, no shade, white people, if y'all watching this, y'all age like milk. Okay, but something is in her milk. That was spoiled way before it was supposed to be spoiled. I ain't even gonna hold you. So of course, Pumpkin does her white woman tears and calls Flav down, and she snitches on New York, and New York is like, I'm gonna get her. And now that starts the New York versus Pumpkin fiasco. Now back to Miss Latin, because while all this is going on, she's on the phone trying to get in touch with this ex-boyfriend again. This time he does answer, and he says, have a nice life, and hangs up on her. And of course she's crying. Now after she gets off the phone, she decides, like a dummy, to go confide in the other girls about how she's still in love with him. And they ask, if he came to the house right now and was like, choose Flav or me, who would you choose? And she was like, I choose him. Yeah, like just all in love. Like I mean, granted, I would too, because I'm getting to know Flav, or somebody who I'm already in love with. Like, come on, like, let's be honest. But you're saying this around a whole bunch of women who are competing for the same guy. You really don't think this is going to get out anywhere? Like, even if it's just for more TV time, you really think nobody's going to tell it on you? And all the while she's talking, guess who's in the bathroom? Miss New York. Now, the winners go on their private date with Flav, and they all go skating. Now, New York is falling intentionally just so Flav can pick her up, and I'm like, rightfully so. Get that quality time with your man, period. And then, of course, after they skate, they sit down and have a little chat with a little powwow. This is when we find out that Smiley used to be married, and he basically told her, I'm not in love with you, you're not the one. And she starts bawling and crying and expressing her feelings. Meanwhile, New York is just fixing her edges, like fixing her makeup. Like I don't know if she really is this like careless or if editing just played her out, but she was not caring about none of that. Now, also during this conversation, we find out, well, Flav asked Miss Latin if she's ever been married, and she downplays the 2 relationships that she have been in. And we all know that she's still in love with this ex-boyfriend because she calling him from the house. But does she tell Flav? No. She presents it as if she big single, period. After the date, all the girls are back at home, and New York is in the kitchen talking to Red Oyster and Hottie basically about Miss Latin and how she's still in love with her ex-boyfriend, and she didn't tell Flav that on the date. Peep this. No camera crew was around to catch this conversation, but what do they have? Cameras planted around the house. Take notes, Zeus. When the cameras are down, you still have cameras that are active around the house to catch these moments during downtime, okay? Anyways, just I had to put that in there. Anyways, Hottie basically asked around the house to see if all the girls knew about Miss Latin, and everybody confirms. So Hottie then goes to Miss Latin and was like, what's up with you being in love with your boyfriend? And this is when Miss Latin presented to everybody in the house, like, whose business is this? None. And of course, Hoops, who's not there for Flavor Flav, doesn't care if Miss Latin has an ex-boyfriend that she's in love with, because that's nobody's business, because I'm pretty sure Hoops had a boyfriend on the show too, okay? So at the dinner table, Miss Latin's like, does anybody got something to say to me? Say it to my face. I was like, okay, Bad Girls Club, okay. So everybody's discussing it at the table, and then they blame Hottie because Pumpkin was like, Hottie wants everybody to do her dirty work. And I'm like, Hottie is doing her own dirty work. She don't need y'all to do that. Hottie will do it by herself. Trust, okay? And all the while, Red Oyster is just sitting and soaking up all this information to do what? Later on, go tell Flav. So she calls Flav, pulls him aside, and she lets him know that Miss Latin has been calling her ex-boyfriend from your house, and she's still in love with him. Now it is time for elimination. And Sweetie gets her clock first. Kind of a surprise. Okay. And I wonder, does production organize these clocks in a specific order? I just want to know. Okay, anyways. Then we're down to the last 2 clocks, and it's between Oyster and Miss Latin. Now, when Flav was doing his process of elimination, deciding who was going to stay, who was going to go, the editing was presenting like, I hate rats, I hate snitches, right? So it's down to Red Oyster, who told on Miss Latin, or Miss Latin, who was actually doing dirt from his house. So he decides that he is going to give the clock to Red Oyster, because even though she, snitched, he really feels like it was in his benefit and not hers. And Miss Latin is on the way out with a handful of other people. So on the way out, Flav is talking to Miss Latin. He's like, I'm really just hurt that you didn't tell me that I had to find out about everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Because with time, maybe he could have wooed her and she would have got over her ex, but it was just that secret factor. I understand, Flav. I feel you. I will give whoever $1 million if y'all could pronounce her real name. I'm just kidding, because I don't have it. But seriously, how do you say her name? Oh my God, brain wreck. All right, so on the way out, we also have Georgia and Rain. And that's what I'm talking, Nana boo boo, because y'all was on New York head talking about y'all can't wait till she go home and whoop de whoop de whoop. And guess what? Y'all going home. That's what you get when you mess with the queen. No, but for real though, I feel like production probably played a hand in Rain, because she was a little bit too aggressive. We want conflict, you know what I'm saying? But she was a little bit too ram. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I low-key do feel like production was like, hey, Flav, are you feeling this one? Okay, good. She could go tonight. Okay, she messing with our star. She's messing with our star, okay? Every time a girl goes home, Flav pours one out for them. And I just want to say, I know this carpet is muddy and stinky and moldy. I know rechanging that rug every week is not a part of the budget. I just know it's not. Thank you so much for tuning into this throwback reality review. If you enjoyed my commentary, please give me a thumbs up and or drop a comment down below to share your thoughts and opinions on episode 1 and 2. I will be returning with paired episodes 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, if you're not already subscribed, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to stay tuned for when I post, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.